Hey, my name is Tony Sorrentino, and we're here at the Abbey Pub in Chicago, Illinois, and I support underground innovators.
Open your eyes, lay down your armor, surrender the fight, or reside in the truth. There is nothing you
I grew up
can do.
in a house with a dad who played piano and a mom who was singing all the time, and so I got started playing music at a really young age. It was like the first thing that my dad enrolled me in, you know, when kids are starting gymnastics or Boy Scouts or whatever they're starting, like I was starting piano lessons. And music was just kind of like the common ground of our house growing up, I guess. Yeah. And now for me, music is like kind of the way I can express everything that's going on, from like things I'm excited about to things I'm like mourning or processing or confused about or whatever. But it's kind of like the the ground of expression for everything in my life. I mean, the music industry right now is constantly evolving. I think like, you know, the idea of an artist that gets signed and then just takes off is really being challenged by streaming services and independent artists, and in a lot of ways no one really knows exactly what it means to make it anymore. Is it having some hit that's on some big TV show, or is it having a certain number of plays on YouTube or on Spotify, or is it a certain number of people come to your, like, what does it mean to be successful? It's kind of ambiguous right now. I think that along with that, some of the stereotypes that exist are, you know, that certain genres are in or out, and I think that a lot of those are being broken because the individual is the one that now gets all the choice. Someone said once, I don't remember who, and I read it on a Starbucks cup, which is really cool. But I read this quote that was something like, there's no, you know, basically that there are no genres of music, there's only good music and bad music, and like good music is music that like makes you feel something, and bad music is music that doesn't. And so whether it's country or rock or whatever it is, if it's good, it's going to connect, because ultimately it's an emotional language, it's an emotional art form. And if it's bad music, no matter what style it is, it's not going to connect. And so I think like I've tried to listen through those ears for the past few years. So there are a lot of different artists in different genres that inspire me. Right now, I'm listening to a few different people. Noah Gunderson is a really big inspiration. I think just because his music is really raw and stripped back, and he writes really honest lyrics, like even lyrics sometimes that are awkward in how honest they are, and I appreciate that. And I have like tried to learn something from him. John Mayer's been a big influence. I mean, kind of contradicting what I said about like not being put in a box. Like, he is a huge influence and respect his stuff a lot. Yeah, and then like I'm listening to like a lot of pop stuff, a lot of country stuff. Just basically trying to find the blend of like, how do you write a really accessible, catchy thing that's going to get stuck in someone's head, but that doesn't feel derivative or doesn't feel cheesy, doesn't feel throwaway. And there's certain artists that do that really well.
But if you were to say that you had a favorite type of genre of music, what genre would be your favorite?
I think it really evolves. It's kind of in the same way that like fashion is always changing, and whatever was cool 5 years ago is like really uncool now, and usually what becomes cool is sort of like the antithesis of what you know, it's sort of this like, it's chasing its tail sort of. I feel like that's true for me. So like I'll go through a season where I like want to listen to like really polished poppy, everything sounds perfect, there are 100 tracks on every song, like it's just like this like glory sound thing. And then I'll go through that, and then I want to listen to like a Noah Gunderson, where it's like an acoustic guitar and like a really rough, crackly vocal. And so it's like kind of, and then I'll go from that into like wanting to listen to like electronic kind of stuff. So there's this kind of dual tension of, on the one hand, knowing that whatever I write is going to be heard by someone, and is intended to be. It's a public art form, and it's meant to be experienced by groups of people, not just by me. And yet also trying to write something that's actually honest and not turn into the like traveling musical salesman who's like so conscious of like what's in and what's going to sell. And like I think it's hard, and maybe this is just for me, I don't know if other people would say the same thing, but for me, I think the hardest thing is actually doing and making the kind of music that I want to make and that I believe in, knowing that eventually I'm going to go stand on a stage and play it for people, and they're going to respond or they're not, but not allowing that to be a reason to only write for like the room, to like actually write what I want to write. if I'm going to give an honest answer, like, I don't think my intention is to innovate the music industry. Like, I think I see, like, the music industry as basically this big conversation, and if I could, like, add one worthwhile sentence in that, like, decades-long conversation, like, that would be really an honor, and, like, probably more than I'll ever actually get to do. Like, I think my goal as a songwriter is way more just to, like, have a way to process what I'm going through and play those songs, and then hopefully that they can connect with somebody else. But, like, I think my goal, even connecting to what I just said, is not like I'm gonna make my mark or I'm gonna, like, change the music industry. Like, I think I'm just trying to write songs that, like, feel real to me, and, like, I feel like there are a couple that I've written recently that have gotten close, and, like, that feels like a step in the right direction. If I could tell non-musicians one thing about music, it would be that music is not intended to be, like, a fashion accessory, and there's an element of, like, culture and fashion and identity that all kind of gets wrapped together, but at its core, music can be a lot more than just, like, the t-shirt of some band that you wear that associates you with this group of people, which makes you feel cooler or less cool than this other group of people. And to try to stop listening to music like it's this competition about who's cool and who's not, that music is actually a lot more like food. Like, it's experiential. Like, you like what tastes good to you. And, like, if you like cheeseburgers but everyone likes sushi, like cheeseburgers, basically.
Hi, my name's Alicia Kiewit, and I just have a question for Mr. Sorrentino. Would you consider yourself musically sushi or cheeseburger?
I would definitely say, like, a bad McDonald's dollar menu cheese. For sure. Okay, so I put out a record last year. It's my first full-length record. It's called The Art of Knowing, and just put it out independently. You can get it on iTunes and that kind of thing. I put out a sampler of it on Noise Trade, actually just today. So you can download some of the songs for free or for whatever you want to give. I'm working on finishing writing for a new EP that will... When I had my first record, I, like, set about 17 dates and blew past all of them. So I'm doing an EP and it will be done at some time. You can keep up with shows. You can like my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Tony Sorrentino Music with 2 R's. Or you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Tony Sorrentino.
Just open the door. You're the only one I'm waiting for, and I'm open for more than holding out outside. Enough debating, it's anticipating what is in our minds. It's time to open the door.